Welcome back to Market Headlines. And now we're moving to the latest story about COVID-19 vaccines. Minister of Research and Technology Bambang Brojonegoro hopes that Merah Putih vaccine is able to fight a new strain of COVID-19, which continues to mutate and also infect Indonesia.
Minister of Research and Technology and Head of National Research and Innovation Agency Bambang Brojonegoro delivered the latest updates related to the development of Merah Putih COVID-19 vaccine. Bambang Brojonegoro hopes that the vaccine will be effective against various variants of COVID-19. This is because Merah Putih vaccine seeds were developed using virus isolates in Indonesia, and therefore it perfectly matched for Indonesia. Merah Putih COVID-19 vaccines is planned to be used as a booster to maintain public immunity. It is known that immunity obtained from vaccines or natural infections may not be permanent, so periodic vaccinations will be needed to maintain the immunity. On the other hand, Rector of Airlangga University, which is one of the institutions that are developing vaccines, Muhammad Nasi, is optimistic that Merah Putih vaccine for COVID-19 can be mass-produced by the end of 2021. From all sources, IDX Channel.
Yes, viewers, vaccines are crucial for bringing the coronavirus outbreak under control. Not only relying on imported ones, the government supports the domestic COVID-19 vaccines. So the progress is that the head of Food and Drugs Regulatory Agency, Penny Lukito, says several higher education and research institutions in Indonesia is now developing COVID-19 vaccine. And this development is coordinated by the Ministry of Research and Technology or National Innovation Research Agency under the Merah Putih Vaccine Consortium. And so let's see the institutions that are currently working on local COVID-19 vaccines to the first graphic. In the first graphic, we can see that institutions that are currently working on developing Indonesia's COVID-19 vaccines. The first one is Airlangga University. The second one is Eijkman Institute for Molecular Biology. And the third one is Indonesian Institute of Science. And then Gajah Mada University. University of Indonesia also participated in the developing COVID-19 vaccines in Indonesia. And then last, Bandung Institute of Technology. The data is taken from the Ministry of Health. The development of the Merah Putih vaccine is one of the innovations that have been regulated by the government in Presidential Decree number 18 of 2020 concerning the national team for COVID-19 vaccine development acceleration. And now Merah Putih vaccine is currently in the laboratory research stage. The Ministry of Health has allocated hundreds of billions of funds to support domestic vaccine development. And let's see the budget through the next graphic. So in the second graphic, we can see the budget allocated of COVID-19 vaccines development. The first category is domestic vaccines research, allocated by 400 billion rupiah. And then for a vaccination program, as much as 130 billion rupiah. Well, compared to the vaccination program itself, the research and development budget is way lower. Plus, if we compare it to other large countries, and let's say United States of America or USA, our budget available for this research was relatively small. In the United States, they provide research funding of $1 billion towards every vaccine initiative. As a result, more than a third of the U.S. population has received at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine, and more than a fifth is fully vaccinated. And let's see the U.S. vaccination progress in the next graphic. So we can see the U.S. vaccination progress. The first thing to highlight is 119.2 million people, or 35.9% of the population has received at least one dose. And then 72.6 million people, or 21.9% of the population, are fully vaccinated. The data is taken from Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. A single-day record 4.6 million vaccine doses were reported administered in the U.S. That brings the daily average of reported doses administered over the past week to 3.1 million. And how about Indonesia? Let's see how the vaccination goes so far in the next graphic. In Indonesia, the development of COVID-19 vaccination program, we can see on January 27, the first dose, more than 300,000, while the second dose, only 66. On February 18, 1.2 million on the first doses, and the second dose, 668,000. On March 19, 5.1 million first dose, and then 2.2 second dose. On April 7, 9.2 million first dose, and then 4.6 million second dose of COVID-19 vaccination. The data is taken from Ministry of Health. The latest data show that until April 2021, Indonesia has reached 12.7 million vaccinations. With this achievement, Indonesia managed to occupy the 8th position in the country that scored the most vaccination achievements in the world. The mass vaccination program has been running according to the target set, which is 10 million vaccinations per month. The daily injection reached 500,000 and 50 around 2.5 million a week or 10 million per month. And that is indeed on track according to the availability of the vaccines. So viewers, the speed of vaccination is not only for pursuing the target, but also depending on the availability of the vaccine, as higher education and research institutions in Indonesia is now developing COVID-19 vaccines, and hopefully the domestic vaccines can cover all the needs, and later Indonesia can be less dependent to imported vaccines. And stay tuned on Market Headlines. We'll be right back after this quick break.